Welcome back, everybody. Gasman here, as you know, because you signed on to the page. It's been a while, I know, and I apologize. Kind of hard to put a video out or a race recap when you're just not happy with the way things are turning out with your car and everything going on with it. I haven't had any major issues or anything, but I have been fighting with the car again. As you know, all last year I fought with a really tight car. Come this year, over the winter, I thought I found a couple things. Went out with high hopes. Didn't. It's up and down. Nothing. No major improvements. Did have that brake issue that blew apart, and then I came back and had no rear brakes, and then got that all figured out. Once again found a couple more things, so I was like, okay, and I went out one night. I went out for 2 practices, and the car felt great. I was like, we finally did it. Figured it out, found the issue, whatever it was. Here we go. The week before, I put 2 right side tires on it. So I went out for qualifying and put a new left rear on. So I just wanted to get some heat cycles in the tire, get some numbers, and go from there. I come back, the car was a little off from what it was in practice, so I'm like, okay, the tire grew, did its thing, whatever. It's not really happy with what it is set at. So I do my measurements, do my pressures and everything, and it's like all my numbers are the same as what it was in practice. So it's a new tire, new rubber, more rubber, same numbers, but not as good as the old tire, like the car. Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me. If all the sizes and pressures and everything are the same and it's a new tire, you would think it would be better. But who am I to know, So it was a big debate on whether I put the old tire back on or leave the new tire on for the feature. And where I'm at, I'm just trial and error, heavy on the error. I left it on. I don't know. Numbers are the same. So maybe qualifying is only a couple laps. Maybe I don't know. So I go out for the feature. No, the car was crap, and just didn't make any sense to me. It really frustrated me. And like I said, the practice, the car was great. Like the first practice I came in, I'm like, holy crap. Like the car turned, and I felt really happy and felt really good in the car because it was actually a race car. It did what it was supposed to do. So, okay, now back to the drawing board, right? So then the following week, these are weeks ago. You can't be mad at me for being a week late. These are, obviously, you probably wrote me off on these videos because you're like, this guy just gave up. And I'm not giving up, but it's just hard. So we go out, I come back and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Go through the car. Can't really figure anything out. I'm like, the car is tight. It's always tight. It's like, I don't know. So we go out, and the next week, and we mess with a few little things. Car's still not really good. That night, I remember I go out for qualifying, and the thing is tight as could be. Absolutely tight as could be. Oh, so, see, my memory, Don't, kids, be smart when you're young. Don't do dumb things. You'll pay for it later. Um, so during that week before we go back racing, I had changed a rear spring, and checking scales. I have friend scales that he lent me at the house, so it's like it's hard one person, but I'm just comparing my notes from when we did it at the shop to now, just to kind of get a better game plan, just so I can see where things are, how things are moving and whatever. And so I'm checking the numbers, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, all right, they changed the spring, nothing really changed. So I brought the other spring with me, and I'm like, well, let's just see how this goes. I go out, practice. It's not really off, but it's not really what it was the week before in practice. So it's like, all right, I don't know. This is getting old. Make a couple little tweaks here or there. Go out for qualifying, and the car's tight. I can't make 5 laps. I can't drive, and at that point, I was really mad. I came into the pit and just barreled ass into my pit stall. I was mad. I'm throwing stuff. And it wasn't, I was mad at anybody. I wasn't mad at the car, at me. It was just the frustration level had peaked at that point, because now I can't even go 5 laps. Can't even go 5 laps. Like, I could not make a good lap during qualifying. I'm like, forget it. I'm putting the other spring on. At least I could get something out of it. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I go into the trailer. Wife's scattering around because she knows I'm mad. And she tries to stay out of the way when I'm mad, but she's trying to help me at the same time. And she did. She's getting the jack. Of course, I'm pulling the jack out, and it gets caught on something. The jack handle comes out of the jack, and like I said, frustration levels about here. That jack handle almost went there, but I had settle down, dumbass. Go in. She's like, what do you need? I tell her, get the jack stands, grab that spring. Like, I need my gun. So we're getting everything. And Jason Tyler, like, they kind of like set off a little bit. As I'm getting everything to the end of the trailer, they're like, all right, hey, now that you calm down a little bit, which I was compared to what I came out of the car as, they're like, let's make some adjustments before you just start throwing springs and shit at it. And I'm like, whatever, I don't care. Whatever we do, it has to be better than what I just did, because that was the worst 5 laps I've had. And they're like, all right, well, we want to take like all the cross out. And I'm like, no, good idea. Because right now, for the last 2 years, we're here, max tight, right? So if we can get loose and slowly work to a happy medium, I don't care. We gotta do something. So we take it over to the scales and take probably 2.5%, or 2.5% out of our cross. Which, if you don't know race cars, which I don't really know race cars, 2.5% is a pretty decent amount. I think it was like 3.5 turns out, and so we're like, you know what? That's quite a bit. Let's try that. I'm like, fine. I'm happy to try it, because once again, I need something to drive. I can't do anything with this. So we go out on the feature, and that was the feature that we got rained down on delayed. We go out car's loose. Like, I almost lost it the first corner, and I'm like, okay, well, that's where we're at. So of course, I lose a couple spots there, but I'm like, that's fine. At that point, I'm not worried about. I'm not going to win. So if I can just get out there and make sure the car is working better, it is perfect. It's a 20 lap practice for me. So I go out, and a couple laps in, the car starts coming in. Like, it starts to tighten up a little bit, or I am getting used to it. So I'm like, oh man, I can drive this. Like, this is something. So it was funny because I got behind my buddy Garrett and Rob Sears, and I'm all over them now. Now the car has come in. I'm like, man, give me a spot here, because I try to race with respect. Race and respect don't usually go together. But me, I'm not gonna wreck somebody or push somebody out of my way for last place, especially if they're my friends. I don't want to pay or work on my car anymore during the week for one position in the back of the pack. I don't want them to pay or work on their car during the week to lose one position in the back of the pack. You're making $50, I'm making $50. We're both finishing the race. That's fine with me. But it was actually, I had a lot of fun because, and honestly, I was told by more people, even from the tower, that everyone single filed the race except for the three of us. Now we're in the back, basically racing for the last. I think we had one or two cars behind us, maybe. I don't remember. But we were. I was going to the outside. I was trying to get the inside. And these two guys, it was great. It was. I was smiling. I'm pretty sure I was smiling. It was a lot of fun because these guys are right there, and I'm like, Rob starts getting a run. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna jump in behind him. We're gonna go underneath Garrett. Then Garrett gets in front of us, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to the outside. I get outside of Sears, and Garrett's right there. He's not blocking me. He's running his car, his race, his line, and just these two are like right there with each other. And like I said, without putting myself in the marbles and trying to go three wide and possibly in the wall or pushing somebody, there was no way. I'm hitting the grass on the inside, and they're just without hitting somebody, there was no way for me to get by. Finally, going down the backstretch, I get a run on Rob, and Garrett's up a little bit, and I'm like, just like I got probably half a car past Rob's nose, and I'm like, I'm staying here. I'm not backing off, and I'm staying right here. And it's either I'm gonna hold this line, and I'm just gonna see what happens now, because this is as close as a hole as I had for those laps, and I'm gonna hold on to this. So going into 3, I get Rob. So I'm like, okay, there's one. Now Garrett and I are side by side coming out of 4, and a car in front of us spins, and I'm like, it was a drag race at that point. I finally had the spot, space to make a move, and it was a drag race to turn 1, and I'm like, I am going for it. Of course, as soon as we're come out of 4, that car is spun around, yellow flag. Yellow. Crap. So, all right, no big deal. We'll get tightened up. We'll run again. Starts to rain. I'm like, no. I finally had my opportunity. I had my plan set. I knew what I was doing. There was no way in my head, I had the inside, I was going to get that position coming out of two. Backstretch, that was all mine. Like, going down the front stretch was going to be the drag race. Coming out of two, it was mine. I knew it. It was like, nope, I'm done playing this game. We're out of here. And like I said, it was a great race. It was a lot of fun. I enjoy racing like that. That's how it's supposed to be, right? I don't care if we're in the back of the pack. Like, that's where my race is. Okay, and so we get the rain and they pull us off the track, this and that, blah blah blah. And of course it's hot, and I'm like, we're all getting out of the car. I'm laughing, and Jason and Tyler. So what? I'm like, dude, that was awesome. The car is great. Like, it's great. Like, this is it. This is obviously, we thought our cross had to be somewhere, and this car just doesn't work with that. So now we're somewhere. And they're laughing. Ended up raining the rest of the night. We didn't get to finish. One lap shy of halfway through the race. So we had a week off. Yeah, we had, after the rain delay, we had a week off, and then we had our 30 lapper last week. So I didn't really mess with the car much, and we went out kind of okay. And like I said, I like to race with respect. Always, racing is competition. You're always trying to beat the guy next to you or in front of you or behind you or whatever, and you want to win. It's always there. It's always there. But I believe there's a way to get there. And honestly, like I told Garrett and Rob and there in the trots and stuff, I'm like, honestly, like, I'm not gonna make a dumb move like the week before. Like, I'm not gonna wreck anybody for where we are. If we were in the top 5, I'm sorry, bud, but I'm gonna be a little more aggressive. I'm not gonna put you in the wall, but I'm gonna try to make you screw up a little bit to give me an opportunity to get by. I'm not gonna be that patient. And I understand that's where a lot of guys are. When you're up there, I understand. If you're someone who usually races up there and you're not up there and you're back with the peasants of like us, you should be able to weasel your way right through us, and not through us, around us. So I always keep an eye on who's around me, what's situation awareness, and I don't give up places. But I'm not gonna jam somebody up that's hammering up on me and gonna blow by me at some point anyways. So I'm not gonna chop and block, and like we're not supposed to. Every driver's meeting, no chopping, no blocking. And for this guy to lose a lap when he's gonna get by me anyways. So that's where I race. So come to our 30 lapper, we're out, practice. Car wasn't, I'm still getting used to the car because now it's reacting totally different than what I'm used to, obviously. I'm not fighting it going to the wall. Now I'm driving a car. And so it's a lot of muscle memory of braking and where to enter the turn and how it's going to come out. So it's like starting all over, which is fine because now I can do something with my car. And so practice was practice, not bad. We go out for qualifying, and like where I was tangent on the racing respect kind of thing, we get people in our class who rent cars, borrow cars, have cars and don't show up all the time, whatever. If there's no race cars, there's no races. I like the fact that people do come and dabble in our division, whatever. I'm glad we have the field that we have, because there's other fields, other tracks that don't. And I personally ran during COVID up at Hudson in a pure stock class for the second half of the season, and I ended up fifth in points before the last race. And I never, I finished last every race I raced. And everyone's like, how the hell are you fifth in points out of, 30 cars or whatever it was on the list? And I'm like, it's because I get a top 5 every time I race. I'm still last, but there was only 5 cars showing up. And I didn't do that because there was only 5 cars. I did it because, one, I built a new car and I was trying to get used to it. It was COVID. That was the year that Waterford opened up late. So by the time Waterford opened up, I had already started racing up at Hudson. So I would race Waterford Wednesday, Hudson on Sunday, because Hudson's a cool track. I really like that track. I couldn't figure it out yet. I didn't race it that much to get the hang of it, but I was 5th in points. And I'm like, but also I missed the last race and it dropped me to 10th place. So that's where, if you show up, you make a big difference. But come to our track, we got a decent field, but if you just come to have a good time, like, have some respect, let's not wreck stuff. That being said, qualifying for 30 lapper, I have a guy behind me who, like I said, borrowed a car or was lent, hey, use my car, whatever. And I saw him behind me. I was running my line. I wasn't blocking anybody. I done nothing. He had opportunities to go around me. I don't know. Don't care what his situation was. Going into one, he gets under me and spins me. And I'm like, whatever, great, here we go, As I'm coming around, he drives right into my door. I'm like, are you... Like, I'm looking right at his windshield, and he just piles into me. So, I'm like, what the heck? And then he clips my front end, and he's just driving down. I'm like, what in the world? One, this is qualifying. So that, we have 8 cars. Maybe because of this 30 lapper, we might have had 10 cars in our heat. The top 7 qualify. So, and they even say, doesn't matter if you finish 7th or 1st, it doesn't affect where you start. Everybody makes the race. We're outside 7th. There's no reason to wreck somebody's crap. Like, granted, it did wreck my car a little bit, knocked my toe out, wrinkled up my body. I gotta replace some door bars and stuff. But it's like, this is your first time in that car at this track this season. I understand, and I'm not trying to talk crap about anybody, but it was like, man, that was frustrating. Because, yeah, okay, so we're not going for the win. We're not getting points for this. We're not. The respect part is where I say, I'm here every week. I'm not a big budget guy. It's me. I have a few good sponsors that have helped me, but 90% of the time, it's my pocket that's funding this. And it just, we didn't gain anything. We didn't lose anything. It's just additional work that has to be done to my car now. And it just sucks because it's for nothing. And look, I understand the frustrations at times, but like I said, if we're not, in the top 5, and especially in qualifying, like you, this is your first time here in this division. You're going to start in the back anyways. So it doesn't matter if you win the heat race. You're not getting your picture taken. You're not getting any handshakes. You're not getting anything. You're not starting up front. You're starting in the back. You could be the best racer there is. You're still going to start in the back. My rant. That's it. Done. It's over, right? Okay, move on. I'm over it. Come to feature time. I pretty sure we loosened the car up a little bit more, trying to figure it out for the 30 lap. And I go out and I think I took 6 spots from where I started. Started in the back, obviously, because, got spun out, and I kept going in qualifying, finished qualifying, but started in the back as normal, and just went for it. I don't know, no thought process, just was like, hiya, here we go. Managed to move up like 6 places. Was running pretty good. I did notice the car was starting to backfire louder than normal. And I'm like, maybe that's just because, hey, maybe I'm running it harder. Like, the car's actually like turning well and doing what it's supposed to do. So now, now maybe without thinking about it, I'm giving it more juice, and but then I did notice going down the back stretch that it was breaking up some. I'm like, ooh, there's no way. Like, it's not a rev limiter. It was like, oh man, maybe it's in my head again. So then next one, I'm like, feel a little bit like it's like, I'm like, I don't understand. So coming off of, we get a caution, and I'm farting around. All of a sudden, car dies. Now, coming off the track after qualifying, my car died then too. I thought I was out of gas then, because it was low in the tank. And before we went out for qualifying, I'm like, I got enough fuel to get through qualifying. Like, I'll fuel up for the feature, and so nickname comes into play there. I'm like, oh man, I put more fuel in this cell than I do for a normal Friday night. There's no way I ran out of gas. Please tell me I didn't run out of gas. And I'm rolling, and I'm turning it on and off. I'm hitting the button, hit the button, hit the button. It's not farting. It's not popping. It's cranking over, cranking over, cranking over. Watching the flow racing afterwards, you can see the flames coming out of my tailpipes under the car, and the announcer, I think it was Ben, noticed it and was like, well, you can see all the unburned fuel, igniting because hot exhaust and everything. So I had gas. I had no fire. I had fire under the car. I had no fire in the engine. Like, you need air, fuel, and fire. No fire. So I get pushed off and everything. Like, oh, what the heck? The car was going good. Like, I'm like, all right. I had some, I wasn't, once again, big improvements on my level. And so it was a letdown. But I still felt pretty good with where we were with the car. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. First thing I do is check my fuel. Now I got fuel, so I put more fuel in. Hey, doesn't hurt to have more fuel, right? Still doesn't want to start. I'm looking in the carburetor, it's squirting, it's got juice, So pull the distributor cap off. Had one in the trailer, threw a cap on with a different coil. Thing fired right up. So ignition coil failure. Big letdown. Car was like I said, the car could have handled like crap. Still a letdown, but the car was handling pretty good. So bigger letdown. So within the week after that, I got that all new wires, cap, rotor, coil, everything, chasing those parts down. Also noticed that my fan fuse had melted. Yeah, that was weird. Um, but I also found possible some faulty wiring with it. So, like, maintenance on your rig. I fixed all that, and it really didn't. Like, I had a real busy week, and some things happen throughout the week that suck and take up time. Life isn't peaches and cream. So come Friday, we throw the car in the box and go to the track. Get to the track. I throw right side tires on. I'm like, all right. I go out. So I change, did a little swippity swappity, bippity boppity. I had new tires ready. I just had to have them put on rims. So I took my tires off my car. I put my old tires I had in inventory on. I'm like, well, these tires had the 30 lapper plus whatever on them. These had a handful of races on them. So I'm like, we'll go out for practice. I'll get the new tires put on, let them sit in the heat, get some heat cycles in them, figure out what I'm going to do. So, second practice, we have no heats because we have our regular feature plus the half a race that we have to make up. So I put on the new tires for second practice to, like I said, get the heat cycle in them, see what's going on. We loosened the car up some more, took some more cross out. Let's practice. Let's see. I go out for practice, and yeah, that was too much. I was all over the place. It was like amateur hour and Formula Drift in my car. And I actually lost it at one point. Spun her around. Didn't call a caution, just kept on going. It's practice, whatever. So, actually, no, I didn't lose in practice. See, too much crap in my head. It was the first feature, which is, like practice, because it was 11 laps. That's when we loosened it up, took some more cross out. I ended up losing it on my own in that race. Did not throw a caution. Didn't finish last. Finished in the back, but at that point, I was like, okay, well, at least now I know. I'm here. We were way tight here. Now I'm too loose here. Perfect. Let's make some slight adjustments. Go from there, which I did. Main feature, 20 laps. I'm on the pole. The guy next to me, outside pole, I've watched him race. I had my opinion about him in open practice. It was either open practice or Sizzler practice. He's a new guy, a renter, and I'm not saying anything bad about him or his car or anything, but it comes back to the respect. I've seen this guy, people pass him and he like goes for blood, like swerving at them and this, and I'm like behind these incidents in the past, and I'm like, man, why like, they got you, it sucks, I understand, no need to like try to door them and everything. Like, hey, you race your race, you stay away from me. So, but I'm sure people have their opinion about me too, but I try to be respectful to everybody. I've had things in the past. I also have mentioned that I don't really like to initiate. I'll retaliate. You race me a certain way, I'm probably going to race you the same way. Don't want to. I don't want to spend money on my car that I don't have to. I'd rather spend money on my car getting it better. And even if we just door bang and that knocks a toe out, and eventually something's gonna break, and just stupid little things that are unnecessary. So this guy's starting outside me, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I just gotta get away from 'em. Like, I don't, but also, I know people are like, oh, well, people who are in the back of the pack shouldn't start up front. Yes, to a point. I have started up front and gotten spun out, and it is one of the scariest things to be facing the wrong way outside of two, seeing the entire field because it's lap one, turn one, and you're facing the wrong way because somebody was too eager and spun you, and you see 30 cars going for gold, and you're the wrong way. That race sucked. So I'm like, okay, starting up front, does you have to take your shot, right? You have to try it. You will learn a lot in the back, and you learn to pass, and once you learn to pass, then you should be able to run up front. Well, sometimes it's easier falling back than it is moving forward. So sometimes, like, there's people who've won just by starting on the pole. Some people that would never have an opportunity to make it up there have had a victory because they just happened to start up front and hung on. I personally, I can only speak for myself, took the opportunity to start up front because I was like, you know what, my car isn't a complete bag of crap today. It's actually, I can drive. If this was 2 weeks ago, I'd be like, nope, I'm going in the back. Starting in the back. There's no way my car is, me and my car are at a point where I'm going to risk somebody's feature. I also looked at the lineup and I was like, well, the really front runners, like, okay, let's not beat around the bush, but Waterman was way back. Not that I'm worried about Waterman racing me wrong, but it was going to give me a couple laps before he caught me if I was to be able to hang out up there that long. And the handful of other guys that are really fast, they weren't like all bottled up on me. So I was like, okay, I have some guys who aren't, they're all better than me basically. So I'm like, okay, but they're not like the front runners every night. So I was like, okay, I have a couple laps. Hopefully things will filter through, and I'm just gonna go for it. And what happened? It to me, I haven't heard anything official or whatever, but it looked like the guy might have missed a shift and got, it kind of looked like the two guys behind him got bottled up. And all I remember is coming out of 4, I go. It's a started off as a drag race. I look in my mirror to see how things are turning out because, once again, I look in my mirror not to give position, but to kind of play it smart. Because if everyone's pushing me, I got to prepare where I'm gonna go because I don't want to go in the wall and I don't want to wreck everybody. But nobody was pushing me, and all of a sudden, so I'm like, okay, here we go. And I look up again right before the corner. I'm like, oh. Now Minkler's behind me, and all I see is car, and then his car sideways, and I'm like, oh my god! Of course, I could just keep going. I'm like, I don't want to be any a part of this. Of course, caution, and unfortunately, there was a lot of cars that were banged up. A handful of them were took out, and I can't. Like I said, I watch Flow every Friday night when I get home because usually it's like I can't see what's going on up there from where I sit. So I want to watch the race. So I want to see how things go. And so of course there's 800 replays on Facebook and all that, and you see, and it's like the car just it looks like you missed a shift and everybody bottled up, and next thing you know it's like, so there's no, I believe there's no real, he didn't do anything wrong. He made a mistake, and crap happens. The best have done it. I mean, look at any other division. How many times do the modifieds or SK lights, I mean, it happens all the time. So I feel there's no blame there. And so you can't even say because he's a new guy and this and that I can't even justify that, because like I mentioned, there's other people who have made the same move, same mistake, and they've got wins under their freaking pillowcase because they have so many and years of experience, and it still happens. So, like I said, I don't know what happened. It sucks that it literally like happened on the start finish line, and there was a lot of money to be spent repairing these cars, and I've been there. Luckily, I missed it. So that, like I said, no, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not like, oh, what the hell, but there's a lot of respect that has to be done, and looked at. So we come to restart. The guy starting outside pole was a little antsy. I saw that. We get in the box, and I know where I usually start. Like I've only done it a couple times, but I haven't really screwed up a start yet. Knock on wood, whatever you want to do. But this guy looked a little antsy, and it's fine because he's a guy who has led laps in a normal race, and he's got some experience, years of experience, and this and that. And I'm like I said, I don't. That's fine. We get in the box, and I hear him kind of take off, so I don't take off as fast, but I take off. I'm like, whatever. As soon as like he took off, I like waited maybe a half a second, and then took off, and not deliberately or anything, but I didn't actually think they were going to call it back because it was close. It was close, and I'm not one to play those games because, like I said, I'm not going to stay there long, But I can honestly say I think I led the most laps that race. 90% of it was under yellow. Before the race, we had quite a few laps. I was, I'm on the first car. Right after the half a straightaway of the beginning of the race, after that, I led a lot of laps there. So they call it back. Okay, cool. We square back up. Next, pace car doesn't come out. We just go, and it was a good start. Now, the field's different, and some of the, more of the big hitters are right there. And honestly, I think we managed pretty well. We did get three. I got stuck in the middle, and I think it was Brent Gleason on the outside. And I did the best I could. I don't think I got into him. I had somebody underneath me, might have been Raymond. I honestly forget because I was like, oh crap, we're going into the corner 3 wide, and I'm in the middle. I don't want to wreck anybody. I don't want to be that guy. And we made it. Brent ended up getting around me anyways, not in that 3 wide move, but I think he ended up dropping back and getting under me. Once again, it's fine. I had my shine. I was in the spotlight for a minute, and we all made it to where we needed to be with no carnage. And as the race went on, I'm just running my race, and the car is feeling great. Like, I got to a point where I'm like, holy crap, I could be faster, but I keep screwing this up. I kept coming into one too tight, I thought. And I was like, man, if I could fix, so the next lap, I'm like, okay, let's try to open this up a little more. And I get it, and it's like, all right, now I got to work on coming out of 2, because when you do a different entrance, it's gonna put you at a different place. So I'm like, all right, and I got the car who actually started on the outside of me, number 58, is in front of me. He's a couple car lengths in front of me, and I'm like, all right, But then I come back to 1 and it's like muscle memory, and it's like, ah, crap, I didn't want to do that again. But it wasn't hurting me, but I personally felt like I was like, oh, I feel like I could have made a better rotation, a better. So it was like, okay, here's learning, different. The car's actually working. It's I'm not fighting it. So it's like, okay, I ended up, running the guy down a little bit. When we finished, I was probably like half a car off of him, and it was just as time. He could have been falling off, and I could have been. I don't remember the times. Lap times weren't where I thought they should have been. It felt like I was doing better and faster, and I still was like high 23, low 24, which isn't terrible, but I thought it should have been better than that. I finish. I'm counting cars. I'm like, I got 10th. Oh my, I got freaking 10th. And then I'm like, wait, I got 9th. Top 10. Top 10. I don't care that I got top 10 from working backwards. I maintained and stayed in the top 10. So that was great. I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe it. Awesome job. I hung in there. Car felt great. I feel that I didn't wreck anybody. I didn't ruin anybody's night. I didn't hold it. I don't even think I held anybody up per se, because once again, I not giving up place, but I respect that. I'm gonna give you a little room. I'll give you an opportunity. If you take that opportunity and you have it, it's yours. If you take that opportunity and fall on your face, it's mine. Try again, and that's where I'm at. But for last year crap, this year going to crap, now to get a top 10, 9th place, like I said, I don't care that I worked back to 9th. I maintained 9th, okay? I maintained it. I didn't fall all the way off. I fell halfway, So, I mean, it was great. It was great. I came off. I was extremely happy. The car ran the whole race, handled really well. It was hot as could be, absolutely hot as could be. I was spent the next day. I don't think I got out of bed before 10:30, which is very unrare. And I was beat. I lost probably 50 pounds of sweat. And what a night. Great night. Good racing. Finally glad to be able to say I have something to work with now. It was a lot of unknowns. And it was like, I remember scaling the car one night, and we're like, every time we make an adjustment, it's inconsistent. Like, there's something weird with this car that it just, it's been on the jig. It's been clipped already, so it's square. It's its own machine, and I really got to thank Jason and Tyler Trott. I mean, Gem Motorsports. They've got me here. Obviously, I bought the car from them. I rented it from them, and now I've owned it for the last 2 years, and they're always there helping, and it's a challenge, and I really appreciate. There's a lot of people who have reached out and offered help, and I love racing in where we're at and the track we're at, and everyone, I try to get along with everybody. I hate going out and having enemies and worrying about. Let's just race our race. If you're better, be better. Show me how good you are, and by how good you are is how clean of a racer you are. So let's keep it up. Let's keep those cars coming. Let's keep this one going, and let's do this. I want to thank my sponsors, Charlie's Towing out of Manchester, Ray Luce, been big help. CSC Services out of South Windsor. If you got a restaurant or hotel or anything, any of your air ducts, grease traps, they're grease hoods over your kitchen. They'll clean you up, prevent you from losing your investment in a fire. You're worried about, your dryer lint vents. This is worse. People don't think of it, but restaurants usually it's a requirement, but it gets looked over a lot. My buddy Tommy, Diamond Ledge Heating and Cooling, he's a great guy, local guy. If you want a mini split, this guy will hook you up. This guy, it just seems like he's got mini splits falling out of his pockets. He gets it in and done, professional. He's always posting pictures of like pipe work and stuff. It's an art form. It really is, and he's a local guy, family. He's got his kids are going to school for it, and he's got them helping with them. Fantastic. Diamond Ledge Heating and Cooling. Any of your HVAC needs. My chiropractor Sean, over out of Ellington, Life Care Chiropractic. He's been keeping me standing up straight for a long time. I really appreciate that. And just all my friends that have helped me and given me money, to $20 here or there, whatever. Lisa Taylor, Fred Frost. I got a whole trunklet of signatures. If you wanna meet up with me sometime, and you wanna put your name on a car, I got a car. You can put your name on it. A little small donation. I don't care. It goes a long way. I just, Hospital. It's everyone's like, what the hell is Hospital? It's like ServPro. Everybody knows ServPro. It's like when you talk about equipment, you say a Bobcat. You know what a Bobcat is. Well, it's not a Bobcat, it's a cat. Yeah, but it's the same machine. Nobody knows that, it's a skid steer. No, it's a Bobcat. So Hospital is very much like ServPro. You have anything, you have a pipe burst in your house, you have a tree fall on your roof, anything with your house, accident-wise, you have an unfortunate fire, you have anything, they are the people that will take care of it. They will come in, and instead of you having to, stress about what just happened in your house and deal with your insurance company and trying to find contractors and, well, maybe this guy's going to screw me, and this contractor said, no, I just need this. This contractor says, oh, no, we can need to do all this. Hospital will take care of it. They come in, they send somebody in, they assess the situation, they figure it out. They have their employees, their contractors, or they know contractors. If you have a contractor, they'll work with them. So they'll deal with your insurance company and make sure you're all set. If you need a place to go, whatever, they take care of it all. So it takes a huge burden off of you. Honestly, I haven't done a video in a long time. I know this one's kind of long, but I'm feeling pretty good right now. Like I said, 9th place finish was fantastic, especially with the frustrations, the fighting that we've had going on. I really appreciate all the help from everybody. Like I said, if you're looking to get into this sport, race cars make a race. If there's no race cars, there's no race, there's no racetrack. The racetrack will get demoed and become a parking lot or a big Y or whatever. You want all these? Hey, there's a spot for it. Don't let it happen. Jet Motorsports, Jason and Tyler Trott, they have cars. They're competitive cars. They're cars you can't... I don't want to say like just any Joe Schmo, I drive fast on the highway, jump in a car and race. Because sometimes that does work out. But these cars are built equal. They're all, nobody gets any cheap parts, nobody gets anything. Each car has the potential to win. You just have to put it there. The driver makes the car. I've always said you can put a fast driver in a mediocre car and he'll make it work. You put a bad driver in a fast car, he's not going to make it work. So just know that these cars are set to go, and they will win with the right combination. So if you're looking to get into a car and you want to be competitive and you have some kind of experience, this will be for you. Hit them up, Jason or Tyler Trott, and right there in South Windsor, they got a couple cars, go over there, put your butt in it, and you probably won't get out of it. It's kind of what happened with me. I was like, they're like, oh, we got a car for you, you know. Blah. I went over one night, was like, oh man. And that night I ended up taking a seat from another car and putting it in that car and got in, and here we are. But you can't see them yet. Those are our bikes, but cars here, cameras on the car, and now I own it, you know. So it's a great thing. Hit them up, and if you need help with your race car, let them know. Also, they'll see what they can do to help you. But let's keep this going. It's fantastic. Unfortunately, I'll miss this next race coming up, July 10th, and because my motorcycle club I'm in, Motorcycles out of Manchester, we are having our 10th annual motorcycle rodeo. 10 years of motorcycle mayhem. We have mini bike racing, we have motorcycle racing. Not to watch. I mean, you can watch. Come and watch. But bring your mini bike. Bring your motorcycle. You got a cool motorcycle? You think you're the Billy Badass of the neighborhood? Come on over. Let's put it to the test. You know, I won a trophy with this Cafe Racer right here, you know? It's dirt racing. Your Harley is going to get dirty. I know. Unheard of. Not only do you have to ride it out of your town, but you're going to have to race it in the dirt and get it dirty. Oh my. What's the new owner going to think? Oh my goodness. Anyways, no, we got a King Cool band playing. We got food. We got beverages. We got inflatable bounce house water slides, things for kids. We got a dunk tank. We got. And then it's not just racing, but we have keg toss. We have. You know, the balance board ride. You know, once again, you want to take your bike out, and you don't want to go down in the Thunderdome racing the dirt. That's fine. Try the balance board. You know, slow race. Be the slowest. It's weird. Race slow race, but you can't put your feet down. So, you know, cruise down. Try it out. Try it out. It doesn't. You pay for the admission of the party, and everything else is up to you. Whatever you want, and enjoy the day. It's going to be a freaking blast. That's Saturday. Camping, we're going to be there Friday setting up. If you want to camp, tent, bring your RV, whatever you want, you can show up on Friday, camp, party all day Saturday. Rather see you stay Saturday night than risk, you know, going home, getting a ticket, arrested, or worse. And Sunday, it's clean up, get out of there. So, unfortunately, I will not be racing Friday. I will be racing Saturday, but with 2 wheels, and having a blast. So, Portland Fairgrounds, here in Connecticut, motorcycles, sounds intimidating. We're just a bunch of idiots that love motorcycles and doing stupid things. And that's it. We'll see you at the track. Let's keep this rolling, and sign on, subscribe, tell your friends, and even if things don't go as well as planned, I really need to keep this up, so keep me in order. Remind me. If you tell me you see me or whatever, hey man, I saw your video, keep it up. It's just gonna help me go. Alright guys, be fat, be fast, gas man out. Maybe. Yeah? No, now I